Are you wondering what language milestones your child should be approaching at the age of 1? Or maybe your child has already turned 1 and you're wondering what some of the things to look out for are in terms of language development. So, this tip is normally for kids who are turning 1 up to maybe 1.5. These are the 3 main milestones that I look for in toddlers. There are many milestones. You can go and Google and find out all the milestones you expect for a child of 1 year old, but these are the top 3. And normally, whenever I talk about milestones, I talk about milestones in 3 areas of language development. So I talk about expressive language, what the child says, receptive language, what the child hears, and social language, how the child is interacting. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you one key milestone in each of those domains. And because I didn't introduce myself yet, hi, I'm Amini. I'm a speech and language pathologist, and I'm also the owner of Smarter Speech. And it's my mission to help parents and caregivers of young children feel empowered when it comes to their speech and language development by making little changes in their daily routines and their daily talk with their children. So, what are the 3 things that I would look for? First words. So normally around the time that a child is 12 months old, they should start saying their first words. A quick note, though, on what exactly counts as a word. So a child might still be babbling when a child is less than a year old. They might be saying things like mama, mama, da, 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 da. That's great, but it doesn't quite count as a word unless it's a little more intentional than that. So we count a word as something that has one of 2 purposes. The first one is requesting. So if a child wants mama to come over and they say mama, that's probably a request. Another one is commenting. So just talking about something in the environment. So say they see their favorite ball and they say ball. They're commenting on that ball, or they're trying to bring the attention of their communication partner to the ball. So usually words are used to comment and request. And the most common first words tend to be things that are seen very often in a child's environment. So first words tend to be mama, dada, ball, milk, more, up, and train. Those are ones that I hear a lot, but anything within the environment that's used to comment or request. So that's our expressive language milestone. The next thing that I look for in a toddler who has just turned 1 or who is going to turn 1 is eye contact. This is a big one, and it's often misunderstood because what does eye contact have to do with a child's language? Actually, a lot. Because if you think about human beings, we say so much with our eyes. We communicate emotion with our eyes, and we also show what it is that we're paying attention to with our eyes. Wherever your eyes are, that's likely what you are paying attention to. So if a child is making eye contact, that shows that they are paying attention to their communication partner. Most of the time, that means that they are paying attention to you. So if a child is not making eye contact, that means that they might not be paying as much attention to you as they would be if their gaze was fixed on you. Normally, I especially look for eye contact when you call a child's name. Are they turning and are they looking at you? The other time that I look for eye contact is when you're sitting down to play with your child. If you're attempting to make that communication and you're playing with your child, is the child looking at you? They don't have to stare at you the whole time. They don't have to stare at you a lot of times also. But when you're doing something fun, when you attempt to show them something, are they looking at you? Again, that shows if they're paying attention to you. If that's something that isn't happening as often as you'd like, that's definitely something to speak to a pediatrician about. So I would make an appointment, especially because sometimes this process takes some time to investigate what might be going on in terms of eye contact. So it's very good to make that appointment earlier than later. So if you're concerned about eye contact, please, please, please don't delay and talk to your pediatrician, even though your child has just turned 1. The last milestone that I look for in a child who has just turned 1 or who has turned 1 recently is ability to follow one-step directions. So usually when a child is 1, they still need a lot of modeling. But when you model how to do something, is your child following? Are they following the direction? So say, for example, you guys are heading out and you're putting your shoes on. So you might say something like, Mommy puts her shoes on. And then you look at your child and you say, now it's your turn to put your shoes on. Does your child at least gesture to their shoes, gesture to their feet, bring you their shoes? Anything that shows that they understood that it is their turn to put their shoes on shows that they want to follow you. They want to follow the direction. An easier thing to look for is give me. That is the easiest direction if you ask your child to give you the car. Do they give you the car? This one is a little bit, there's a slight room for error just because sometimes a child might not want to give you the object, but hopefully you'll be able to tell the difference between your child not wanting to share and your child not understanding that you asked them to give you something. So in play, say it's your turn to play with the ramp and you say, give me the car to put down the ramp. Your child should understand that. Or an even easier one might be, oh, put on, right? So if you need to put the car on the ramp, put on is a very simple direction, which if you show your child should be able to follow after. Another one that I look for in terms of directions might be with pretend play. So say you showed your child how to use this cake piece, you're going to pretend to eat it. So you can say, oh, I'm going to eat. So you demoed it first, then you tell your child, can you eat? Does the child copy you and try to eat the cake piece? That is following a one-step direction when your child is quite young. So those are our three main milestones to look out for. 1, we're looking for first words. 2, we're looking for eye contact. And 3, we're looking for following simple one-step directions. Again, we targeted expressive language, social language, and receptive language. If you're worried about any of these 3 key milestones, please make an appointment with your pediatrician. Please make an appointment with the local speech therapist to see what might be going on and how you can best support your child. So I hope you found that helpful. If you're looking for some more information or some more resources, you can sign up for our mailing list where you receive a free tip every month that's themed to the month or the season on how to boost a toddler's, preschooler's, or kindergartner's language development. There's also links for an ebook and some courses in the description box below. If you like the toys that I was working with, these are great hits with toddlers. So I love this particular ramp. I will link that below. And I also like this cake. This is also a huge hit with the toddlers that I work with. I will link that below as well. So go ahead and look for some other milestones if you would like, but make sure that during the next coming weeks, as you're watching your child, you're focusing on these 3. I hope this helped you, and happy talking.